Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. This week's video is going to be based around Affinity Photo. It's a alternative to Photoshop. It's purchased from Serif for a one-off license price. It's a really reasonable price. Markets for just under £50, and whilst it's looks a little bit different. Most of the keys are the same as what's in Photoshop, so if you are used to Photoshop you could probably pick up Affinity and go through it. The point of my video today, I posted a picture to a friend, but before I posted the actual picture I intended to post, I posted an effect that I'd put on it to him, so he asked me how I'd combine the two. So I thought I'd do a quick tutorial video on two things: Affinity, how to do a little bit of processing on your images, and layers. So I'll crack on. So this is the image that I'm going to use. A couple of issues straight off. I've taken it, I wanted the perspective that I've got there, the angle and the size that the chair and the model would be within the frame of the image, but that posed me two problems. So number one, it's not quite straight, and number two, I've got my light up here. So down where the healing brush is, normally there is an inpainting brush. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to take the inpainting brush and I'm going to highlight the light there, and I'm going to use the inpainting tool to remove the light. So what that will do is blend in to what the image that I've taken, so it'll do a nice blend in that top corner. So there we go, that's fairly nicely blended in. The next thing that I need to do that's imperative, because of the effect that I'm actually putting on this background and the picture, I need to ensure that the photo's straight. Now it looks straight, but it's not. So basically use the crop tool, and then there's a straighten button that then gives you the ruler, and if you take a known straight line like this one, and it will then rotate the picture to fit. Now I am going to have to crop the image as well, so you can see we've got a couple of areas where the image has been rotated and it's left as blank, so there's room within the frame to actually crop into this. So I'm going to keep the original ratio so that the picture ratio stays the same, and I'm just going to crop in ever so slightly because I don't really want to lose things like feet, etc. I think I may need to come a little bit more at that side, but that sort of works for me. There's a little bit left down this corner, but we can come back to our inpaint, reduce the brush size, and let's just paint that line out, and that should infill that little area there. And you may, in some circumstances, have to do it more than once. Like all good demos and tutorials, it's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to switch to the healing brush. I'm just going to run that down that corner. So if we press Alt and that, and then we'll go down. There we go. Right. Excuse me. So that's my image there as it stands. Now the thing that I wanted to do was add a little bit of a grungy background. So I've gone off onto Google and looked for a suitable grungy background. I've sort of picked on this one. I think I'm going to give it a try at least. So I'm going to copy that and come back to my photo, and I'm going to go edit and paste. and that's created me a new layer with that element in it. So if I then now go to the selection, and I can actually drag it out to where I want it to be, and because we've straightened it, we should be relatively alright with the base. So there's our texture. Now clearly that doesn't look right, so what we then need to do is change our blend mode. So up here we have various blend modes. So on the where the normal drop down box is, there's various blend modes, so it's sort of have a look through and see which one gives you the effect that you're actually looking for. Now I think you can change this after. I actually maybe soft light actually. If I then reduce the opacity slightly, just to give me something there. I don't necessarily want it. So I think there's something there. Okay. So what we then need to do is mask out the bits that we don't want the effect applying to. Now I'm going to click on that, on the layer that I actually need to mask, and then I'll come to the mask tool there. So it's now added the mask onto the end. If we go to the brush tool, we should be able to brush out areas that we want to keep, and what that's going to be doing is masking those areas, so we can be fairly obviously if you're doing this yourself you'd take some more time over it, but this is to do it just fairly quickly. If I press X, what I can actually do is I'll show you, if I press X and I was painting this normally, I can paint the mask in so that you're losing the effect in the background. If I pressed X again and then I do the opposite. What that's doing is switching between a black and a white brush effectively, so the black will show, the white will hide. So I think as now that's sort of roughly where I want to be. If I look at that, there's some elements there that we can see I still need to remove. So that's showing me the mask view of the background that I've put in, and then if I re-enable that, so there we have the effect or the texture applied to the grey area in the background. Now there's other things that we can do with this. We can darken it, we can play around. There's lots and lots of different effects that can be added. So we can add such as an adjustment layer for curves. And something I tend to do is probably go there, take it to about there, and the midline, bring that up, and then I've got my adjustment layer, and again as ever I can take the opacity down just to change the effect up on that. If we zoom in, zoom into the image, you can zoom in with Control plus to zoom in and minus to zoom out, and you can see here there's a little bit of fringing. So what we can do is if we go back to our mask, I can just ever so slightly move that out. As I say, if you spend a little bit of time doing this, it really does pay off. It's fairly simple but very effective at the same time, and you can spot areas when you zoom in that you've not necessarily seen, like there on the corner of the chair. etc. I'll take some of that out. Zoom back out. Pretty happy with that. That possibly would do some other bits. I've got some elements down here that need a little bit of healing. Oops. Oop. Didn't want to do that. I'm going to heal these a little bit as well, just from down there. Right, I think I'm quite happy at that now. Control 0 will send to your image after you've done it. So I think that's all I wanted to quickly show you. Obviously you can spend more time, you can do lots more with it. You can also do further adjustments. You can sort of really duplicate layers. There's other ways to create effects and things to do, but I think as a quick overview of that video, that's all I wanted to show you. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you've got any videos that you'd like to see, post a comment below and I will see what I can do for you. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.